What's going on, Grace family, and welcome to another midweek check-in. I hope your week is going well, and just as always, thank you for spending a little bit of time with me in this way as we continue to follow and learn from Christ together. So hopefully you can find some encouragement in that. For that encouragement this week, I want to read a verse out of the Psalms. So this is Psalm 27, and it's verse 14, and it simply says, "Wait for the Lord, be strong, and let your heart take courage. Wait for the Lord." And I just wanted to share that. I want to do something a little bit different this week, just within the season of Advent. It's got the whole idea of waiting and just anticipating the coming of Christ. But I don't know if you're like me or not, but when you think of the term waiting, I just kind of picture sitting still and not doing anything, just passively waiting for someone else or something else to happen. But when you look at a verse like this and you dive into the Hebrew language, when it says, "Wait for the Lord, be strong, let your heart take courage, wait for the Lord," that word wait can mean wait, but it also means to look for, hope, and expect. And so that adds a whole new element to this idea of waiting on the Lord. And so I'm not sure where you're at, I'm not sure what's going on in your life, but maybe you're in a moment where you're kind of hitting pause and saying, "God, what are you doing? What's happening here?" Maybe you're questioning what He's trying to do, or maybe even worse, you're questioning who He is in the middle of that. Sometimes so many circumstances in life can just lead us to going, "God, what are you doing?" And when you read a verse like this, it's not an idea of just sitting back and going, "Okay, I'm going to wait until you move," but with the idea of looking for, hoping in, and expecting in what God is already doing. That totally changes our perspective. So I just want to encourage you, if you're in a moment, if you're in a season of life where you're finding yourself saying, "God, what are you doing?" I want to encourage you to continue to fix your eyes on Jesus, to look to Him, to hope in Him, to expect in what He's already doing. And so to just take time to stay rooted in His Word, to be filled with His Spirit, to engage with Him in prayer, so that whatever circumstances you are going through, as you wait on the Lord, it's not a passive waiting, but it's an active waiting in looking to Him and saying, "God, what are you doing this time? How can I be a part of that?" It's hoping in and remembering who our God is, no matter what circumstances we're going through. It's the hope that who He is will carry us through it. It's expecting what He's going to do and knowing how to become a part of that. So that's my prayer for you today, this week, but through this whole Advent season, we talk a lot about waiting and waiting on the Lord, but don't just sit back. Actively wait, become a part of what He's doing. And then we come back to Psalm 27, where it says, "Wait for the Lord," but it says, "Be strong and let your heart take courage." So in actively waiting on the Lord and becoming a part of what He's doing, that's where that strength comes from. That's where that courage comes from, and just remembering who God is and what He is already active in, and then be willing to become a part of that. So it's just a little different twist on that idea of waiting, especially in this time of Advent where we're waiting for an event to take place. We're waiting for Christ to come. Well, let's be active in that, and let's join God in His kingdom, in His will, and in glorifying His name. And then He will carry us through those circumstances where we don't really know why it's happening, we don't really know what's next, but we're with the God who is already moving through it. So hopefully you can find some encouragement in that. I will be praying that over you this week. Jumping into our review and preview, last Sunday we continued on in our current series of loving people where they're at. Wayne Allen preached on another way that Jesus loved people where they're at, and he did that with compassion, by looking on us with compassion. And so, Wayne, I just want to say thank you for sharing that. I've heard a lot of good things, and hopefully you were encouraged by his word as I was, as he's challenged us to look at Jesus and how Jesus had compassion on people, and then how we can go and allow Him to do in and through us the same thing, and for us to have compassion on people as we desire to love them where they're at. So that gets us to this next Sunday. We're going to continue on. We're already in week 3 of Advent, and we're also not only got 2 weeks of Advent left, we've got 2 or 3 weeks of this current series left. So this next Sunday, we're going to be in Matthew chapter 12. verses 9 through 14. And we're going to look at two more ways of how Jesus loved people where they're at. So if you want to jump ahead and start reading through that and marking down ways that Jesus loved people where they're at, there's a few in there, but we're going to focus on two more of those. So we can look forward to that this Sunday. In the meantime, I will continue praying over you. I will continue to pray that you will be actively waiting on the Lord, and I really look forward to continuing to follow and learn from Jesus together as we gather back together here Sunday morning. So we will see you then. Have a great rest of your week.